You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense. Keep going. More. No, stop!
Well, good afternoon and welcome to this edition of the Red Raider Coaches Show. My name is Brent Johnson. I'm along here with Coach Matt Wilson, Offensive Coordinator, and Austin Wilder, Special Teams and Linebackers Coach. I'm glad these guys were able to sit in with us this morning. It's been a couple weeks since we've had our show, been a couple weeks since we've played football. And I hope we're rested and ready to go as we will start region play this week. But we're going to focus back on Johnson County for just a few moments, but I first want to recognize one of our key sponsors for the football season, and that is Bennett Johnson Insurance, Mr. Daniel Johnson. I want to thank them for their support. I also want to give Daniel a plug. This is a little surprise, even for you guys, I don't know. Daniel's a sort of a local entertainer. He doesn't advertise very much, but this dude can play the guitar and he sings pretty well. He released his first single last week on Spotify and a couple other music platforms. It's called Me Minus You. So I encourage you to go out and listen to that song. It's pretty impressive. He's pretty talented. Me Minus You. Look it up on Spotify or one of those other leading music platforms. So again, I want to thank them for their support of our football program specifically. Well, guys, Johnson County, they have, we talked the week prior a little bit about this team that was a semifinal team last year. I think they lost one or two of their running backs that rushed for a couple thousand yards, but they got one of their dudes back, and he was number one, and he, you could tell he was a little different, when he was suited up, but he was not the difference maker in the game we played them that night. I felt like we were able to contain him well on our defense, and Coach Wilder's going to talk right now a little bit about the defensive scheme and the plan and how everything just kind of fell into place for us there.
Well, that game, it was, we talked all week about being physical with them. Again, we're going to try to be physical with every team we have that we play on our schedule. But, finding where he was at all times, if he was out, split out, receiver, running back, quarterback, whatever he was, we were trying to figure out where he was and figure out what he was going to do. But I think the game plan, was, it kind of changed for us because we figured out, well, we don't have to, the scheme that we had planned for him, well, now we can do something way simpler and still be effective. D-line played really well. One of their big plays, is trap and everything like that. And, we told them, don't try to run the sweep down. Y'all are all athletic. Y'all could probably run it down. We got you in the three-point stance, y'all said run. But y'all play the trap the entire night and don't get trapped and we win the ball game. And that's exactly what we did. I mean, they played the trap, let the linebackers run, let the secondary run. And, we did a really good job of containing that the whole night. And they're going, that type of offense is going to get their little nickels and dimes and everything every once in a while. But it's a bend, don't break kind of game.
That's right.
And, with Rashid having to play multiple snaps on offense most of the night, and then I think he only played 3 snaps on defense. Jace Chancey stepped up and played really well in the middle. But you know, the game plan was there. You know, we executed what we needed to do in certain situations, certain formations, and everything like that. But at the end of the day, it was just line the ball up and be physical. Who's going to be more physical? Who's going to play gap sound football and get to the ball?
Well, and that's obviously what we did. We got the shutout, and Coach Thad wasn't able to break away to get with us, and that's his main goal every week is let's try to get that shutout, and they finally got that. It took a goal line stand at the end of the game, but our guys bowed their backs and took care of business. And you know, we're talking about that. I believe he was number 11 or number 1. Number one. I knew he had some ones on his jersey, but you got a kid like that, and he's kind of Mr. Everything for them, because he would line up a quarterback, wide receiver, running back, punt return, you know, and I thought our punter did a fantastic job of punting away from him the whole game, really. I think he had one opportunity to return the ball with any significance, and again, our special teams just played well. And then again, defensively, we got after it. And a team like that didn't take too long to notice they were extremely uncomfortable throwing the ball. Yes. And we kept them in situations where they needed to throw the ball when it was 3rd and long, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, because our defensive line I don't know, maybe it been our best game we played all year long. Not sure what the numbers turned out, but how they graded out, but man, we got after it. And I keep saying, I said this the first time when we were over a couple games prior, I said, man, I can't wait to see our defense on the field again. And that, you rarely say, you really don't want to say that, because you want your offense on the board, on the field to try to score more points. But knowing that our defense is as good as it is, and as physical as they are, and as fast as we are, they're just fun to watch. So if you didn't get an opportunity to watch that game, go back. I know our camera angle wasn't quite the best. It's one of the lowest field angles I think we've ever had. Their stands, the top of their stands were literally probably 6 feet above playing level. They did have a small box, and I'll never complain about another school having a visitor's press box. I don't care if it's no power, no whatever, because we don't have one, and we need one over here, so I can't complain about that. But our coaches utilized that box, so that got them a little higher to be able to see the field a little better. But we enjoy being in the stands broadcasting. We got people all around, and it's we broadcasted out of the back of my pickup truck before for softball. So we're accustomed with a generator creating our power. So we're accustomed to pretty much broadcasting anywhere. So, but again, it was a unique venue. You know, this is a home of Herschel Walker. If they, you know, if you didn't know that, I know we brought that up a couple weeks ago. But I mean, it probably looks the same as it did when Herschel Walker played, and I don't know if that's for a specific reason. You know, you would like to see a few updates. They had a really nice jumbotron, and I actually like that format where the jumbotron was above the old style scoreboard. I kind of wish maybe we had done that, because then you can utilize the board for any and everything else other than just, you know, as well as putting the board or the scoreboard stuff up. But so that was a neat thing. And then they threw in some light action.
They did.
So they had the blinky lights. We saw that the week before in East Lawrence. You know, in a new facility like theirs with the turf field and the lights, it was like a concert, you know. And then we had, again, the facilities at Johnson County didn't quite compare with theirs, but they did have the lights that blinked and some good music and that sort of thing. So, but yeah, that was basically where we were. We did get that shutout again, 9-0. But we did score 9 points on offense. Probably had a few points left on the field. But tell us what your overall.
We did, Brent, and it's no secret we had a few players out, a few starters out, and what happens there is now you got to have some gutsy performances, because in a small school you don't have all these extra people to go. So now Rashid had to come in and get way more carries than he's supposed to, and they're all night hitting him at the dang knees because they ain't about to hit him up high. Yeah. And so he had a real gutsy performance. Key Brown was in there to block most of the time, but then when Rashid's down, he has to come to tailback So it's not in these small schools, and it was just gutsy performances from them. And also, you had people that hadn't even started all year, had to get in there at receiver some, and then another lineman here and there. So what that did for us, number one, it gets you more experience, but at the same time, to be able to get that experience, like when you're carrying a ball like that, especially like a key who ain't had many carries, when you can carry at practice, it ain't the same as Friday night.
No.
So and you figure that out. Now he's got experience doing it, but it's tough. You don't get it until you play on Friday night.
Right.
So that's the good thing about that, and they're just gutsy performance. I mean, because the key he didn't really come off the field much because he played defense too, and you see him cramping up on the sideline. So was real proud of him, and he don't say no. He loves football.
He
so
loves it.
He's going to do it. And Rashid, I know Rashid slept good the weekend. 'Cause I'm telling you, they was going to his legs all night, and he was a good gutsy performance, and we was able to, and we knew it was going to be that kind of night. Just kind of let the defense roll, and we just got to, try not to turn. We did turn it over again. Still trying to work on that. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We had a bye week, and we worked on that big time. So hopefully we can do that tomorrow better. But so we knew the defense let them play, and just we got to move the ball, and try to get in the end zone. So, but I was proud of them boys that hadn't really been out there yet
Right.
this whole year. And then had to go out there, and we got it done. And at the end of the game, we win.
That's right.
That's the end of the.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's the bottom line.
And you mentioned the key. He had a couple big runs, had a touchdown.
He did.
And again, these are guys that haven't toted that rock other than Slade a few times, but he only gets 5, 6, 7 carries a game prior to this.
Yes.
He took had a real tough tackle where they just undercut him. He basically flipped over, head over heels, and a little concern for a few minutes as to whether he would maybe be able to stay in the game, but he worked it out on the sidelines. He's a tough kid. And so again, that's he's a guy, like you said, you don't want to tackle him high.
No.
So they work more for his knees and his lower body, and again, over time, that can affect you in a game or much less in a season. So again, real proud of the way our guys played. We were pretty. It's one of those games where I felt like we were pretty much in control.
Yes.
95% of the game. And you just want to stretch that score out just a little bit more, just in case one gets loose somehow and makes a big play. I know over history, I've been around this for 14, 15 years now. One of the struggles that I think, not just Bacon County, but other schools that are trying to turn that corner, we let that one guy beat us on that other side. One or two kids, that you got to stop them. And that's what we did.
Yep.
And we've done that multiple games this season. The guy from Clinch, we didn't win on the scoreboard, but I felt like we won on the field. He got a few plays. Again, he's a different kid.
That was number 11.
That was number 11 there. That's a different kid at Clinch County. You can tell.
Yeah.
But he did not beat us. So that's what you got to do. So we're proud of our coaching staff and what y'all guys are continually trying to do and week to week, and that's what we've seen since week 1. That tough loss we took to Lanier County. Lanier didn't look good that game. We didn't look good. They just come out on top, and we have continually gotten better as the weeks have progressed. So, big week this week. This is where this is for all the marbles. This is where it comes together. All these games prior, our 4-2 record means nothing at this point. Our next 3 games is what counts toward the state playoffs. We're going to make the playoffs. That's what happens when you're in a 4-team region. We could lose the next 3. We'll be the 4 seed. We'll travel somewhere pretty far, play a game. It's a toss-up. We win this week is where it starts. We win the next week, and we win the next. We can do something really special. But let's don't get too far ahead of ourselves. We want to concentrate on Pelham High School this week. And so Coach, tell us a little bit about what we can expect from Pelham.
Okay. Pelham's played a hard schedule, so they're going to be battle tested just like us. And they're battle tested. Defensively, they run a 4-4 defense, and I'll be honest, them defensively, they're a base 4-4, but they do. It seems like every week they change something. They put another lineman in, or they put another skill guy in based on the offense they're playing.
Okay.
And they do a good job. They do a good job of it. So. We're thinking 4-4, but we're not sure. So you can't, we've gone over everything this week in the last 2 weeks. But so they are a good job. They're trying to take away whatever offense they're playing. They're going to try to take away what we do best.
Mm-hmm.
So they might bring no lineman in. They might better put a skill guy here, put 3 back. They might go 4-3. So you got to be prepared for anything. They do a good job there. And then they got good linebackers. I know number six is very good. He played for them last. He was their best linebacker last year, and he's back. We got to take care of him. 58, 56 on the D line. They're good. They got some big boys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
6'2", 275, 6'3", 280. They got some big boys, and they're gonna come to play because they know the same thing we do. Like you said, this is really, like you said, these games before was really just practice.
Practice game,
for
scrimmage.
tomorrow night. That's what it is. Because this is all we worried about is the region and then playoffs. So and they know the same thing.
That's right.
So, and they just played Irwin last week tough. They lost to Irwin 35-40.
Yep.
So, and if you play Irwin like that, you're a tough team.
That's right.
So we got to come in and we've been focused. This is a short week, so we came in Tuesday, correct, this week?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we missed Monday, came in Tuesday. And I'll be honest, our boys at the beginning of weight training were a little, anytime it's a short week, they were a little playful and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to them at the very beginning. I said, look, all this stuff's happening. We got softball region who just won. They both won 2-0, so shout out to softball. Good job. Get it done today at 4.
That's right.
We'll be on to Columbus. So you got the softball, so they was able to check out and go watch it. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but we got a game to play. And we got a game to win. So and after I told them that Tuesday in the weight room, they changed. They went back focused, and they got mental, and we had a great week of practice. So I was proud of them for that. So all this stuff going around, flying around, we got a game to play, and we need to focus on that. And now I'll let you talk about, I know offensively, split back veer. I'll let Coach Wilder explain that one.
So another running offense. I watched a little bit of film throughout this week, and that's what they want to do. They want to run the ball. They don't look comfortable throwing the ball. But you do have a little bit of size. I've watched some film from them and Cook. I think it was the first game they played. Cook shut them out because Cook's a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of compare our team somewhat to Cook as their makeup. Got good size, good speed.
Yep.
That kind of they had some big boys up front, and they got after it. So, but since then, some of the film I've watched again, Pelham, they want to play. They're well coached up. So tell us a little bit about what you expect.
Like Coach Matt said, they run the old school split back veer. So they'll run midline, they'll give it up inside in the A gap, B gap, and then they'll run the option off of it. Like you said, they really don't feel comfortable throwing the ball. I mean, I think they've been in the shotgun maybe 6 times the whole season, and that's been at the end of the half type of situation. But they want to run the ball, and they got a good backfield set up, and they got the quarterback. He's fast as lightning. I think he plays free safety on defense. He was their quarterback last year. They got a big fullback. He's about 6'1", 230. He's a big load. He's big, thick. And then they got a little wing back, little speedster. So, but they like to run the ball. This week, like anytime you play an option team, it's all about doing your assignment every play. It's going to be repetitive, and that's the whole point of the offense, is to do it repetitively until you say, oh, okay, I'm going to go take the dive instead of my job as a quarterback. I'm going to take the dive, and then he pulls it, and the quarterback has it. So it's just all about that, all about doing your job every single play. And it's going to be repetitive. It's going to be a boring game until you're on defense. But as long as you fly around, there's going to be bodies on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. We got guys that, last week D-line did their job really well by playing the trap the whole game, not trying to run and get the toss. Now this week they got to play their assignment football and do what they're supposed to do. Linebackers are going to have to come up, take the quarterback, take whoever they got, pitch, whatever. Secondary's going to have to run and make plays. So.
Clean it up, yeah. Well, I know everybody since that big win in Johnson County, we've been waiting 2 weeks to see our Raiders again.
Yes.
I anticipate, we had a pretty good crowd travel that 2 hours to Johnson County. I was excited about big crowd in East Lawrence a couple weeks ago. I expect a huge crowd this Friday night. I hope you do come out. I would have put a plug in for the Wall of Fame game. It was scheduled earlier in the season, but we had some rain issues. I think that was the Berrien County game. But they're going to try to get that in at halftime. they're going to recognize. I'm going to stick that video on this coaches show that you can see the ones that's going to be recognized. I didn't write their names down. I don't want to miss anybody. But there's 6 or 8 guys that's going to be recognized at halftime. Sort of a generational or a decade thing that we recognize former Red Raiders. And that's neat to let this younger generation see and say, hey, maybe 10 or 20 years from now, what I do on this field tonight will give me an opportunity to be recognized at some point. So again, we appreciate those that are behind those scenes, putting that together and providing it. But back to the thing at hand is that's a big win. Is what we're looking for against a Pelham team. They got to travel a long ways. We had to go there last year, and there's no short way to get there. So they're coming in from a long bus ride, probably their longest travel game of the year. They're going to be at the Red Kingdom, and we want you to show up at the Red Kingdom to support these Red Raiders. The Wall of Fame, the band, the cheer, everything that's all a part of that. But we're excited for an opportunity, just an opportunity to compete, yes, and do something really special. One region win gets us the 3 seed. Two region win gets us the 2 seed, and we're hosting. Never been done before. Never hosted a playoff game here at Bacon County High School. State playoff game. I know there's been some, back in the 80s and 90s, they had some sub-region type stuff, sub-region playoffs, but not a state playoff game. And then we do something crazy silly, and we sweep this thing, and now we're the number 1 seed. We're playing at home with a ridiculous chance to move to get a victory in a state playoff game, which has never happened before either. We played in state games as we've traveled, but we've never won a state playoff game. So we're excited about the opportunity. I'm making no predictions, but just the opportunity for our kids to compete and these coaches to take this team to a level that we've never seen before. And we continue to see the level of play and physicality and athleticism and just continue to grow and increase throughout this season. We anticipate to see that tomorrow night, and I'm thinking you guys are too. Yes, sir. Health-wise, real quick, are we pretty good overall, everybody?
Yeah, we needed the bye week. We needed that bye week, and we've been icing and rehab and all that stuff. So we're looking pretty good.
So our starters are going to be starting to the game. Well, that's all we want to hear. And again, that's going to give us our best chance. But if something happens and a kid needs to come in, we know that they can fill the gap.
They can.
And that's what happened at Johnson County. So again, man, I don't know what else to say other than please come out, show up and show out tomorrow night, 7:30. Be here early, get your seat, stay late. I think you're going to want to be hanging around late for this game. So again, I just encourage you to come. So on behalf of myself and these coaches, we want to thank you for joining us again on this edition of the Red Raider Coaches Show.